So today I put out a video using Aqua on Nidhoggr, and now I want to go over what you really gain from replacing Red Margaret with Aqua. Firstly, we'll go over the skills. So of course we all know that Red Margaret has a stance removal skill, and instead Aqua has a DPS skill. It is a pierce rate skill. Yes, it has the ability to freeze, but of course you can't freeze demonic beasts, so that bit is kind of useless, but you do get a pierce rate skill, so you do deal a decent chunk of damage. Her other skill is a Cleanse Rejuvenate skill, so it does remove all debuffs, it heals, and then has a secondary healing effect at the beginning of the next turn. As you can see here, it also goes up to 300%, which is pretty good, and it's not bad. And then you got her ultimate, which at 2/6 applies Divine Purification on your allies. Of course, at 1/6, all you do is get a 10% all-stat boost, but at 2/6, you do get that, which is okay, which is basically just a res. You get a res, which is not too bad. It's got no effect, but it does have a damage multiplier. And then her passive, so in total you get 20% basic stats from the first bit, you get 40% damage reduction, you get 15% basic stats if you are using the goddess team I used in my video, and then you of course get all this stuff which is all just like random stuff that doesn't really matter, to be honest. And then you got Heroic, which doesn't work, it only works against demons, so it doesn't work against the Nidhoggr, which I believe is an unknown. So, what do you actually gain and lose from using Aqua? So what do you gain? You gain a 40% basic stat boost, additional DPS, and a cleanse skill that can technically activate twice, or a healing skill that can technically activate twice. Yes, Margaret does have a healing effect, but it has to be when you remove a debuff, so if you have no debuffs on you, which is, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty hard not to have any debuffs on you in Nidhoggr, but that's the way you get the buffs. And what you actually gain from having Margaret, you get an additional stance removal skill, you get an additional 5% basic stats, and you get the ability to get more attack-related stats with her rank 2 cleanse skill, which is like a 15% buff, and then it can scale up. You can get like 2 of them if you get a gold one as well. But overall, I would say Aqua is definitely the better pick if you're running what gear I'm running on her. I'm running her engraved HP defense gear, because that's all you really need. She's not a DPS. She can power some quite decent damage, but once again, it's iffy, it's here or there, how good her damage is. But anyway, if you want to watch the full video on how she performs, it'll be in the description for you to watch.